Domestic abuse in New York is an umbrella category meant to describe crimes that involve people who live in the same household, have a romantic or intimate relationship, or are family members. Due to the nature of these crimes, they are sometimes referred to by New York courts as family offenses. Domestic abuse in New York. Most people have the common misconception that domestic abuse only involves a husband or a father assaulting a wife or their children. However, statistics show that domestic abuse can be perpetrated by and can be experienced by people regardless of their gender, age, and socioeconomic background. To be a victim of domestic abuse, there must be an intimate relationship between the defendant and the alleged victim. In New York, having an intimate relationship can include familial or relationships in the same household as well as the following close relationships as defined by Social Services Law Section 459A. (1) People currently married to each other or people who have been divorced. 2. People who share children including adopted children. 3. People related by marriage, such as in-laws. 4. People who have a blood relation. 5. Unrelated people who currently live, or have lived together for a period of time. 6. Unrelated people who are currently in or who are in an intimate relationship such as people who are dating. Protective orders in a domestic abuse case. Protective orders, also referred to as restraining orders, is a court-imposed directive that prohibits an individual, usually someone who has been convicted of domestic abuse, from having contact, both direct and indirect, with a person who has been a victim of domestic abuse. Protective orders can be granted to alleged victims even if the proceedings for the domestic abuse charges are still ongoing. The court will review the petition for a protective order and may grant it if they believe that the defendant is a threat to the safety and well-being of the alleged victim. The court may also issue a temporary order of protection by itself. Protection orders may be issued without notifying the defendant before the order is issued. A temporary protection order can include the following provisions. 1. That the defendant stays away from and refrains from entering the home, workplace, or school of family members, members of the household, or the witnesses stated in the order. 2. That the defendant follows a visitation schedule for their child which can be supervised. 3. Prohibiting the defendant from committing criminal offenses to a child, the defendant's family members, members of the household, or other individuals indicated in the order. 4. Prohibiting the defendant from committing acts that put the health, safety, and well-being of a child, the defendant's family members, members of the household, or other individuals indicated in the order. 5. That the defendant assign another person who can enter the residence at a specified time to remove the defendant's belongings if the defendant shares a residence with protected individuals indicated in the order. Six. Prohibiting the defendant from harming any pets belonging to the protected individuals in the order or owned by a member of the household. Charges under domestic violence in New York. Domestic violence is defined in New York as a pattern of coercive tactics, which can include physical, psychological, sexual, economic and emotional abuse, perpetrated by one person against an adult intimate partner, with the goal of establishing and maintaining power and control over the victim. Acts of as well as threats to commit abuse are both included in the category of domestic abuse. Some of the most common domestic abuse charges include the following: disorderly conduct. If you argue with your girlfriend or your spouse in public with the argument escalating to shouting or physical blows, either or both of you may receive charges of disorderly conduct. Disorderly conduct is one of the most common domestic violence charges. Disorderly conduct is considered a violation under NY Pen. Law Section 240.20. Sexual misconduct. In New York, sexual misconduct is defined as engaging in sexual acts, including sexual intercourse, oral sex, or anal sex, without the consent of the other person. This includes situations where the individuals are in a romantic relationship, such as married, cohabitating, or dating. If sexual contact occurs without the consent of the other person, it is considered domestic violence and a form of sexual misconduct. Sexual abuse and rape. Having sexual contact with another person without their consent is considered sexual abuse in New York, while having sexual intercourse with another person without their consent is the definition of rape. Sexual contact is defined as the touching of a person's sexual or intimate parts for gratification. The degree of charges can vary depending on the basis of the lack of consent. For example, if the alleged victim was incapacitated, was coerced into the encounter, or is a minor who is unable to legally consent. Sexual abuse and rape are both graded into 3 degrees and may range from a misdemeanor to a felony. Assault and reckless endangerment. Causing physical harm or injury to another person, especially a person you are in a relationship with, a child, or another household member, can constitute assault. The intent to injure is not required to be charged with assault in New York, just that the person exercised either negligence or recklessness that caused the injury. Assault charges can vary depending on the use of a weapon and the severity of the injuries. Harassment and stalking. Harassment involves engaging in behavior that is annoying or violent towards another person, such as physical contact, following, or other conduct that causes alarm. If this harassment is carried out using written or electronic means, such as letters or phone calls, it is considered aggravated harassment. Murder. The most extreme cases can result in murder, wherein a person causes the death of a spouse, a romantic partner, or another member of the household. A second-degree murder charge involves causing the death of someone while in extreme emotional imbalance, while a first-degree charge involves intentionally causing the death of the other person. The following are charges that also fall under the category of domestic abuse in New York when committed towards a significant other, a spouse, or someone living in the same household. 1. Strangulation. 2. Criminal mischief. 3. Intimidation. 4. Threats. 5. Identity theft. 5. Theft. 6. Coercion. 7. At Edward Palermo Criminal Defense, our team of attorneys leverages their extensive knowledge of the justice system and the law to defend the rights of our clients charged with crimes in New York. We may be able to help investigate the circumstances of your case and represent your best interests in court. Contact us today to schedule a consultation at 516-280-2160 or 631-265-1052.